meeting to order. Everyone should rise. Pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Phillips. Loisman.
Present.
Butcher. Laschewski. Here. Frieders.
Here.
Lancaster.
Here.
Chirulis.
Here.
Peterson.
Here.
Quorum is established.
Do we have any amendments to tonight's agenda? Yes.
I would like to pull number 1 and 13 from, number 1 being by ordinance, and then number 13 here.
So number 1 will go under EDC report, and number 13 will go under admin report. Any other amendments to tonight's agenda? All those in favor of amending the agenda as presented, please state aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay, we have no presentations listed on the agenda, but I know Jason and Stephanie from Kiwanis are here. I wanted to say a few words. So if you guys want to come forward now, you have the floor.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Baumel. I'm here representing the Kiwanis Club of Yorkville, and I'm here with Jason Sola, who's our Vice President of the Kiwanis Club here in town. And we just really wanted to extend a huge thank you to the City of Yorkville and the Parks and Recreation Department. It started, we had Yorktoberfest a couple weekends ago now on Saturday, October 13th. It was the first year for it. And we started talking about it probably about 6 or 7 months ago, and working with Tim and his staff in Parks and Rec was so easy and streamlined throughout the whole process. Working with Tim and Shay, Scott Sleezer, and Tony from their department that day, and all of their staff was really helpful. And just looking at all of you, really appreciate your support. Everyone's really appreciate you being there. Chris, you're a part of our club. So really appreciate everybody's support, and just wanted to say thank you for making it a great event, and to Joel for being an awesome MC that day, and moving things along. I just really appreciate everybody's support, and look forward to doing this again hopefully next year.
Well, thank you. I know it was a good event. I wish it was a little warmer outside. And Joel, you were an excellent MC. I know my arm is still sore from that. Oh, boy. But no, thank you guys very much. But yeah, I look forward to next year. Okay, we have no public hearings. Do we have any citizen comments on items that are on the agenda this evening? Go ahead.
I'm Robin Sutcliffe, and I am a resident of Yorkville. I'm the director, actually, I guess, for the Yorkville Historic Preservation Society, Historic Preservation Society, yeah, it's a long name. I think everybody probably got it. I don't know if everyone looked at it, but I sent a FOIA of the financials from the old jail. I have copies, and you need a copy? No, everyone saw it. So I guess everyone can see, what we wanted to show from this is that there really hasn't ever been any local taxpayer money spent on this facility ever, at all. In 2010, I had a haunted house when I was in Alderman. We made $5,600, a little over. And then when I was not even in Alderman, after I'd been voted out of office in 2011, we made another little over $3,000 because I did it again. I guess if that haunted house had been done every year in the last 9 years, then $5,000 to $7,000 a year, that would have really taken care of a lot of expenses if there were any. There was no repairs done, but obviously the roof isn't really in bad shape. So I just really wanted to be clear that, and there was a couple of expenses on here that we weren't really clear on, but Bart cleared that up for us. I don't know if you contacted the Alderman about that. So, yeah, we just were wondering where that money went. So there's still in that fund $15,034.94. So what we were hoping is, obviously the worst part of this building is, I don't know if you know or not, the breezeway that attaches the auxiliary part and the garage is in terrible Years ago, the downspout fell off and they never replaced it, so there's a hole from the second floor just like beating down on the breezeway. So now there's a hole in the breezeway. And I don't know if you know, but most people know that water does not stay where it comes in. It goes other places and it migrates. And it goes, is creating damage in other parts of the building. So I thought, I actually talked to Advanced Roofing, a Yorkville company, who's given us a bid for the entire roof. But I asked him what it would be just to cap this breezeway. And he's going to be back to me tomorrow. I'm going to Bart now when I hear back from him. Just to cap this breezeway so we don't get any further, this building doesn't have any further damage. Because the future owner, it would be nice if the future owner of this building, for RFP, if that happens, they have less repairs to make. If they're easily, fixed, it doesn't cost the taxpayers any money, because this money is right here. And I can't speak for all of the society, but I would say that if there isn't quite enough there, that we could try to kick in the rest and at least stop the damage from happening to the building. The other thing that I just wanted to ask is that if you do go to RFP on this particular building, if you might consider putting a covenant in it so that it won't be torn down. So whatever they do to it, I believe, to be on the historical register, the federal historical register, the outside has to stay the same, but anything can happen to the inside. But if there's a covenant that it just can't be torn down, I don't know how that works, but I just thought that might be a good idea. I think I'll email that to you as well. So thank you for your time, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Brown. Any other citizen comment? Yes.
Yolanda Byram, I just wanted to follow up with Robin, because she said about the historic covenants. Those can be gotten free of charge from landmark preservation. They're very pro that, and they will do the work, all the legal work for you for protection into the sale of the building and everything like that, if the title is transferred. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as amended. So,
Second.
roll call, please.
Delishna,
Aye.
Machuski. Aye. Tarulas,
Aye.
Frieders,
Aye.
Funkhauser,
Aye.
Coe,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, under Mayor's report, I do have a proclamation to read. Fairness and Equality Proclamation. Whereas December 3rd, 2018 marks the 200th anniversary of Illinois becoming the 21st state in the Union. And whereas the United City of Yorkville joins partners across the state in recognizing the Illinois bicentennial and celebrating what is born, built, and grown in Illinois throughout the year. And whereas the Illinois Department of Human Rights is celebrating the Illinois bicentennial by engaging at least 200 units of local government throughout the state to join the Fairness and Equality Campaign. And whereas the Fairness and Equality Campaign aims to celebrate and reaffirm the land of Lincoln's rich history of valuing diversity, inclusion, and non-discrimination. And whereas by supporting the Fairness and Equality Campaign, the United City of Yorkville hopes to inspire a welcoming and inclusive community that fosters greater understanding of others. And whereas the United City of Yorkville is proud to support the Fairness and Equality Campaign and urges local units of government throughout the state to reaffirm that the campaign's core principles are essential to an open, thriving, and diverse community. Therefore, I, Gary J. Galinsky, Mayor, do proclaim that the United City of Yorkville, Illinois, is proud to support the Fairness and Equality Campaign in celebration of the Illinois bicentennial and encourage all residents to recognize and honor the core principles of diversity, inclusion, and non-discrimination. Dated this 23rd day of October, 2018. Okay, with that, I will turn it over to Alderman Frieder, Public Works Committee report.
All right. I make a motion to approve a resolution authorizing a contract with Deconstruction Incorporated for the building demolition and site restoration project for the property of 111 West Madison Street and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute.
Okay, comments and questions? Yes, sir.
Well, I think after the last meeting that we had, a lot of better information kind of came to light. Once we had the contact between Lisa D. from Landmarks Illinois and Bart, things started to become a little bit more clear what our options were as far as what we can do with the property to avoid tearing it down, but more importantly, what we can do to avoid having to invest any money into it. So the information that's in the packet about cleaning up the RFP, trying it again, being a little bit more thorough with the benefits of the tax credits and all the bonuses that the Landmarks Illinois can be walking people through. I was never, I never wanted to tear it down. I just didn't want to have to pay for it. So I think the options have definitely become a little bit more broad. So I am in support of kind of seeing where that path will lead us as opposed to in quickly tearing it down. So nothing has really changed. Sell it or tear it down. So I'm looking forward to selling it better.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
Yeah, when we sent this back to admin and discussed this, this was a great revelation about landmarks and their abilities and what they could potentially do. I know there's a real brief RFI in here that we're looking for RFP, the format that Mark has put in here from the Belleville. RFP is, a generally good proposal format. I'm not sure how long staff is going to need to finalize the proposal. Maybe a couple weeks.
It'll be ready for the November 13th city council meeting.
Okay. I think with that, and then the timetable that we had outlined in the committee, in terms of how long we keep it out there published and what we're looking for, I think it's a good place to be for us right now in terms of trying to preserve the building without taxpayer expenditures at this point. So, I don't see anything other than us moving forward with staff preparing the RFP and bring that back to the board.
Anyone else? Yes, sir.
I think really the only thing I would like to add is, I agree with Joel, sell it or tear it down. That's what I said last time, that's what I'm saying this time. I'm glad to see there's more viable options as an incentive for somebody to buy it. That's great. What I'd like to see though is if we do an RFP and we ask for proposals and people want to buy it, that's fine. We got to set some sort of deadline though. I don't want this thing to just linger for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, and some council 4 years from now is not right back where we are today saying, well, why don't we see if anybody wants to buy it? But we've tried that once, now we're trying it twice. I like to put some sort of deadline on it, put all the tax incentives out there to investors, see if somebody's willing to come in, buy it, rehab it, put it to a good use, great. I'm happy to sell it to them. But if we don't have something by the deadline, my one's going to be to knock it down. I'd just like to see some sort of end to this, one way or the other. Somebody buys it, or we knock it down.
And how long was the initial idea to put an RFP out there for? Was it 60 days or?
The committee had discussed 120 days.
120?
Being acceptable. And I think that's a reasonable timeline.
And that's for to put the information out and see if anybody's willing to make us an offer to purchase it from the city.
Yeah, the process that I envisioned would be formal city council vote to start the RFP process. The document, again, should be finalized in the next city council. This should be the final form of the package we see. And then it's just a matter of, releasing it, talking to interested parties, and trying to drum up support for it, to get as many proposals as possible within the 120-day timeline. So, as part of the review process, Landmarks Illinois they've said that they would review the RFP and make some suggestions. They thought that we could get more and better proposals. And so if they say 150 days or 180 days, I'll bring that back to the next city council meeting for discussion. Or if they think it's shorter, so we'll see what they say.
And as a follow-up, as far as selling this to a private party, doing it this way, is that more towards the eventual sealed bid option, or we're going to have it appraised and we're going to sell it for 80% of its value?
So Kathy can get into the technical details if you want, but we discussed the process 5 or 6 years ago when we did the last RFP. So there's the do the appraisal, designate staff as kind of a real estate broker type person, and negotiate with people, and then sell it for 80% of the whatever the appraised value is. But the TIF law is actually a lot more, or a lot less restrictive than that. So, you know, it requires a higher vote threshold from city council, so it's a supermajority vote. But you could sell the property to a group for $1 and couple it with commitments to redevelop the building within a certain time frame and financial commitment. So you have pretty wide latitude in that regard.
Okay, great.
So then we discuss a deadline after the next, when we talk about the RFP then? To the next city council meeting?
You would discuss the deadline at the next city council meeting, provided the RFP gets done. The initial staff recommendation, I think, was 60 to 90 days, and the committee said 120. I think the structural report from Landmarks Illinois consultant, I don't think we have any concerns about the building in the next 120 days, certainly. So I think that we have some time, large snow events, perhaps, but I think we have time before the building is past the point of no repair.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I agree with Alderman Cosmo and Alderman Readers. I think after talking with staff, the idea of selling this for mediation would be part of the sell too, right? So the city would not incur that expense.
See, it could be. Yeah, it could be that the city gives away with no additional commitment. There's TIF incentives available. I know that in the past that's been, a bit of a sore point, but, repairs to the building would be TIF eligible. You could, to the extent that it was put on the tax roll generating increment, you can give away a potential future revenue stream there to reimburse somebody for doing some work. Or you could kick in dollar amounts out of your general fund or TIF fund if you wanted to. So you're not restricted from a legal point of view.
So let's make a deal then.
If I win the 1.6 billion, I will buy it and restore it to its original jail shape. But I gotta win 1.6 billion. If I win that, it's all yours. I will write the check and do it myself. Maybe I get some good karma off of that.
You only 1.6 million, you'll never see him again.
I can write the check from the Bahamas.
So I guess it's appropriate then to do most of the table, both of these items under this.
So I'll make a motion to table both items until we've discussed the RFP for the next city council meeting.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Peterson, second.
Yes.
Cook,
Aye.
Readers,
Aye.
Chirilis,
Aye.
Colosimo,
Aye.
Funkhauser,
Aye.
Machuski, Peterson.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, hopefully we get some good proposals and we stay with jail.
Thank you very much.
All right. So under Economic Development Committee report, Alderman Cook, I'll turn it over to you. But number one, for the Unified Development Ordinance, hold out consent.
Yeah, through the request of the staff is seeking authorization by the city council to solicit an RFP from qualified paintings or engineering firms for the creation of the Unified Development Ordinance.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, comments on that? First?
The only question and comment I have at this point is we're publishing this for 20 days from the 1st to the 21st. And it's due the day before Thanksgiving. So we feel that is a sufficient window, and with knowing, people are going to be out on vacation potentially before that, I don't want to hinder any potential applicants for this.
Sure, we can extend that. We did the same amount of time for the RFP for the comprehensive plan as well. And it was later in the year.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the holiday season for Thanksgiving. We may want to push it another week. That way you're not right up against the holiday weekend.
Sure, we can do that.
I'd be happier with that. So,
Anything else?
so then just for just take it. We'll make the motion. So that's our, yes,
I make it.
So we can do a roll call vote on that then?
I'll leave that up to Kathy. but-
Yes.
Anyone else on that item? Roll call, please.
Funkhauser,
Aye.
Machuski, Peterson,
Aye.
Cook,
Aye.
Readers,
Aye.
Chirilis,
Aye.
Colosimo.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, there's one item under public safety committee reports. I'll turn it over to Alderman Wilson.
Find it on here. I would make a motion to approve an ordinance authorizing the local liquor control commissioner the authority to exempt the location of an establishment with a liquor license from the 100-foot rule of the Liquor Control Act and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute.
Second.
Comments or questions? Yes, sir.
Coming out of the committee, I didn't support this. I'm not certain what the justification rationale is, other than the fact that they made an amendment to allow for this. Knowing that we've had, in the past years that I've been here, 3 or 4 liquor stores that have closed over the time, and knowing how much vacant area we have, I don't really see the justification for it. I know restaurants are exempt. Anybody who, I think it's 50 or 60%, maybe 70% of their revenue, if it's not based on liquor sales, they're exempt from this. We're talking somewhere like the Flight Room, the tastings, those kind of places, they're exempt from this because of what their revenue is. I don't really see the justification for removing, or allowing the exemption for the 100-foot setback. It's just my opinion. I don't see where it's necessary. I don't think we have people beating down the doors to try to, get into retail inline spaces. I know the state made a change. Looking at the history, I'm not sure if they just decided, we wanted to change it, or some community came to them and said, hey, we've got an issue here, similar to what we did with our, our side of our council. We were supposed to go to 14 members. We had one of our legislators change the law for us, so we didn't have to go to 14 council members. But I haven't seen where the justification of the need is for it.
Yes, sir.
A question I have is, for under the school definition, does a preschool or a child care type school count as that too?
There's some discretion within the interpretation of the law. Typically, we have not interpreted daycare facilities, even if they describe themselves as a preschool, as a school. So we look at it as a certified, either governmental actor, like a nonprofit organization that provides school, and not just 7 to 6 o'clock daycare.
But what if they're accredited for kindergarten?
We'd have to take a look at the case law and everything else.
So it's more of like an elementary school, a grade school, junior high, or high school is where we're...
That's the typical definition, yes. There are some inline universities in the city that has come up and kind of questioned in the past few years. We've told people the current law doesn't allow it, but for a state recommendation cause them to decide their business elsewhere. So, been a couple, but it hasn't necessarily been frequent.
Because we would have this issue over by the movie theater, right? There's a business coming in there, and it's right next to the, the chocolate.
No, so our interpretation is building line distance, and additionally, we don't consider the academy a school. That's why, so it didn't cause an issue for that. But we have had, the compass and the ruler out on, other buildings and sites throughout the city. So including St. Joseph's Catholic School, I'm thinking of. They've got a kitchen there. They had local licenses there previously, but now there's a church.
Correct.
So this doesn't impact any new businesses opening in Yorkville. This is based on a new permission allowed by the state government.
It will not have an impact on existing businesses in the city. On new businesses, if there's somebody that wants to locate 40 feet away from a school, it would grant us local control, or the mayor, local liquor commissioner, to be able to waive the 100-foot requirement. So that's really what this is. It's about local.
It's not
control,
mandatory.
state control.
It gives the liquor control commissioner some discretion to view the circumstances.
Now, you just went to St. Joseph's, okay? Now, with the church being there, there used to be an Italian restaurant there that didn't have a liquor license. They had a BYOB, I think. But if a restaurant wanted to go in that area by St. Joseph's there, at first you said restaurants are exempt.
I'm not familiar with that section.
The definition of a restaurant would be dependent upon, I mean, it can't be a bar that serves pizza.
Right.
So that it has to be a certain amount of your operation and revenue to pull you away from the restrictions of a straight bar.
You want the language, Kathy? The language is, provided that this prohibition shall not apply to hotels offering restaurant service, regular organized clubs, or to restaurants, food shops, or other places where the sale of alcoholic liquors is not exempted. And then it goes into
Right,
percentage.
it's not in the main part of the business.
Right. So it's not the primary.
Otherwise, you couldn't have a Walgreens
Right.
that sells liquor next to a bar, I mean, next to a school. You know, because so many places sell liquor today. But they would be exempt under the statute because most of the business is not liquor sales.
It's primarily the actual liquor stores, or if it's a multiple bars. You know, a tavern, you're gonna have a fine line as to what the percentages of liquor sales to beverage or food.
Yeah, I mean, like Bart said, I asked Lisa how it just comes up. I mean, it's come up a few times over the years, not many times, so it doesn't make a big difference, but why tie your hands? In my opinion.
Correct.
You need, if they wanted any exemption, they could always come and ask for one, but
They have to put it on state though, right?
they would have to go and pay for that one.
We have to amend, our code now says,
Right.
the footage is there, it doesn't go. So without this, the mayor has zero discretion. With this, there is discretion to look at the circumstances of where the school is.
All right, anything else? Roll call, please.
Turles,
Aye.
Colosimo,
Aye.
Lancaster,
Nay.
Olszewski, Peterson,
Aye.
Coe,
Aye.
Raiders.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, there was one item pulled from consent under admin committee report, Alderman Olszewski, and that is number 13.
I'd like to make a motion authorizing the staff to issue a request for proposals for municipal facility master plan.
So, second.
Second. Comments or questions? Chris?
The item on this one here that I had a question about is we had in committee extended some dates, changed them a little bit. I noticed that this one, the end date is right between Christmas and New Year's. We pushed that off a couple weeks into January because I know that's problematic. Every consultant scrambles to the last minute, and I don't think we really thought that through and we extended it.
Sure. No objection. I would say that first full week in January, nobody cares about the specific date, sometimes that.
Push it off into after the new year. And then I did notice one other thing when the amendments were being made to formatting in terms of the time frames, when we went from 5/20, 21/50, those terms.
Yep.
On page 4 and page 5, there's a discrepancy between the dates. I thought we were going to have those the same, 1 to 4, 5 to 20, 21 to 50, because on page 4 we went 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50.
I don't recall that we specifically said that we wanted those two things to be exactly the same. They could be, really it's more of a descriptor on the, what we're looking for.
So that's fine with that one, I'm good with that one. Yeah, and then, I know on our building master list, we talked about clarifying some of the issues of, parks and shelters and whatnot. I noticed we did take off a couple of the buildings such as the building for Parks or Public Works, the new building, the house we acquired. We took that off, and we also took off the salt shed building. And the reason, those wouldn't be on there, or we have language in here that allows them to still evaluate other buildings if they see fit.
So, in my mind, the more valuable piece of this study is going to be the space needs analysis to identify programmable spaces with staff members, with services, and how they interact with each other. And then coming up with a square footage count, and then an estimate for building the building to be able to provide those services. So for the salt shed, I figured that was going to be a replacement for that.
That's minor.
Yeah, but then the other one would likely be torn down. So I didn't see the need for it to be programmable space. So I figured why waste the time on trying to figure out if we could put something in there and have it be useful rather than just acknowledging that they're both obsolete.
I think the bigger one though is the land that goes with the new Public Works site. In terms of programming and access space planning, I think that one does have relevance in terms of how we program that site, that facility. We talked about closing power plant, possibly if we do some development there. But I think that one in terms of the land, I'm not concerned about the house,
Sure.
but the land.
Okay.
Yeah, we go back and go into, because we have, land size and some things on those, I think that would be relevant.
Yeah, we can make it clear that when we're talking about the public works facility, we're talking about the additional
Including the land.
Yeah.
Yeah, other than that, this is great.
Real quick, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
It says RFQ on the memo, but it says RFP throughout. It's an RFP, correct? Where did it be?
We are going to be soliciting proposals from architecture firms, most likely. And so I don't remember if we include the cost in this one. I believe it is an RFQ, which would be cost agnostic.
When it goes RFI, RFQ, RFP. So we have the I, but one for the Q, but then it's a Q.
We'll make sure that those three are aligned.
All right. Thank you.
I believe that the correct one is RFQ. I will send out an email though.
Okay.
Okay, anything else on this? We can just approve this, as is. Roll call, please.
Machuski. Peterson.
Aye.
Coe.
Aye.
Fritters.
Aye.
Churlis.
Aye.
Colosimo.
Aye.
Funkasser.
Aye.
Okay, nothing from Park Board. One item under PZC. Entertaining motion to approve an ordinance amending the Yorkville zoning ordinance by amending the regulations for wall signs and authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute.
Second.
Comments or questions on this one?
Good job.
I like your graphics.
I know it was a lot of work. I do like the graphics. I like pictures.
I like
That's why I like to eat at Denny's.
Wins over my hand. That's a minute.
Roll call, please.
Colosimo.
Aye.
Funkasser.
Aye.
Machuski. Peterson.
Aye.
Coe.
Aye.
Fritters.
Aye.
Churlis.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, there's no city council report. Is there a city clerk's report? And community and liaison reports. Any staff reports?
No reports.
Okay, so we do have a couple of presentations. First one is for our fiscal year 2018 audit. And we have a metro presentation after that. So, Mr. Olson, I'll turn it over to you.
Okay, we've got representatives of our auditing firm here present. They're going to give you a little overview of the audit, and then Rob is going to close with our traditional audit.
Well, that's when we chase people out and start talking about audit.
They're missing the exciting stuff. They're just gonna go tell their friends it's time for the audit. They better get in here.
Thank you for having me tonight. I first want to thank Rob and his staff for another awesome year. Without their hard work, this would not be possible, so thank you. going to,
Like the, 15 feet in a row, we got the Schaefer rod?
7. but
7, all
We're
right.
in there.
I'm first going to go through the after the annual financial report, which is a thicker than the two packets you received. And if you turn to Roman numeral, page 9, you'll actually see the certificate of achievement award, which you received for last year's after, and we're going to be applying for this year as well. So congratulations on achieving that. If you turn a couple pages to regular page 1, you'll find our water box and maintenance letterhead. This is our independent audit report in which we provided you with a complete unmodified opinion. That's the highest opinion you may receive. It basically states that the financial statements were presented fairly. If you turn a couple pages, you'll find the management discussion and analysis. This is a summary of how the year performed in narrative form. So if you have questions on what the numbers actually mean or fluctuations from year to year, this will be your go-to guide. If you skip past the management discussion analysis, it's about 12 pages, and turn to regular page 3 and 4. This is the start of the actual financial statements, starting with the statement of deposition. This is essentially your balance sheet of all your funds combined into one spot and modified accrual, which means that your long-term assets and your long-term liabilities are presented here. What you're probably more accustomed to seeing starts on page 7 and 8. This is the start of your individual fund financial statements, starting with the balance sheet, and then your income statement would be start on page 10. On page 10, if you go about 3/4 of the way down, you can see that the general fund, which is your operating fund, had an operating increase of about $3 million. This was offset by a transfer out to the Parks and Rec and the sewer funds of $2.7 million. So your net increase in your general fund was about $282,000. If you jump to page 19, page 19 is the start of the notes of the financial statement, which provides a little further detail into how we came up with the figures that we did, with supporting schedules such as capital asset schedules and long-term debt, and a couple other schedules that went out. I'm not going to go through the notes of the financial statement with you tonight, so if you jump all the way to page 73, page 73 is the start of the budgetary information. So if you're curious on how a specific fund did compared to the budget, this will be where you would start. Does anyone have any questions on the annual financial report itself? Okay, I will briefly go through the management letter with you as well. We had one current year recommendation, which was related to the downtown tip, the expenses being over budget, which if you go back to that, starting on page 73, you can see how it was over budget. We did have two prior year recommendations, the first being related to GASB 7475, which is related to your other post-employment benefits. There's a new GASB coming out where we have to calculate what the net pension liability would be. So we'll go out and get a new actuary report to determine if that's material to include. But they'll be implemented next year. The last recommendation that we had was related to, there are 4 funds with deficit fund equity. So that's another item that we will look into for next year's audit. Does anyone have any questions? All right, well, thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, Rob.
2018. As Don just touched upon, I'm pleased to announce that the city's received the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for the 7th year in a row for our CAF for last year, fiscal year ending 2017, and obviously we'll be submitting again for 2018. Starting off with the general fund, you have the graphic in front of you showing fund balance history for the general fund starting in the previous fiscal year of 2006, which was the previous high water mark as far as fund balance goes for the general fund. It was about 5.7 million at that time. As you can see from the graph, the bulk of fund balance for both 6 and 7 were comprised of bond proceeds. I believe it was the 2005 bond that was used for the in-town road program. Moving forward into fiscal year 8 and 9, you can see a greater proportion of fund balance starting to be accumulated of outstanding receivables at the time related to developer debt. Those receivables have not come to fruition, so they were written off in fiscal year 2010, where you can see fund balance increased to about a negative 525,000 in the general fund, which was its lowest point. Moving forward into fiscal year 11, that amount was cut in half, about -50. And then as you get into fiscal year 12 and 13, fiscal year 13 was the first full year that non-local sales tax was implemented. You can see fund balance go up to about $1,012,000 and then over $4 million in fiscal year 2013. That dips a little bit in fiscal year 14 as we get some transfers out to close out some funds. And then really since fiscal year 14, fund balance has continued to increase. Last year we finished at $6.2 million, which actually exceeded the previous high in fiscal year 2016. And then this year, I'm pleased to announce fund balance continues to increase to just shy of $6.5 million, which is about 43% of fund balance. Something to keep in mind, though, is as the general fund balance has increased, so have various other fund deficits, particularly the TIF funds. This year, as you can see, for fiscal year 18, the top of the column in white, that represents about $1.4 million in negative fund equity. Land cash finished the year at negative $278,000. The TIFs combined finished the year at about negative $1.1 million. I'll get into those funds a little bit later, but even with adjusted fund balance for the general funds, about $5.35 million, which is about 35% of expenditures, and still well below our minimum fund balance policy of 30%. So again, this slide just kind of piggybacks on the previous slide, is kind of showing what's happening in the general fund year over year. Fiscal year 16, you had bond proceeds, fund balance went up. Fiscal year 7 and 8, we're building roads, in-town road program, fund balance was down. The recession hit, we had the bad debt write-off, again, surplus, we had deficits those year. And then as you can see, in fiscal year 12 and 13, we had surpluses. It's a little bit of a blip in fiscal year 14 as we close out the municipal building and the rec center fund. And then in 15 and 16, you had fund balance, or I'm sorry, you had surpluses of around $1 million, about $500,000 last year, and $282,000 in the year under audit fiscal year 18. Just want to kind of highlight some of the more important revenue streams in the general fund. I won't go through all of them, but I would like to touch on sales tax. Kind of an unusual year for sales tax. It wasn't really trending very well. You may recall during the budget process, we were showing it maybe about 80 basis points or 0.8% over fiscal year 2017 amounts. I was a little concerned when I got the holiday numbers back in February and March, showing that it was actually 2% less than the year prior. But then as we got sales tax in for March, April, and May, it was actually 7% over, higher than it was in the previous year for those months. So all in all, we finished up pretty much right on budget, just maybe nominal $10,000 under. We had about 2% growth in local or municipal sales tax. We had almost 3% growth in non-home rule sales tax. Another interesting revenue stream this year was income tax. As you may recall, in June and July 2017, the state announced that it was doing a one-time cut for the LDEF of about 10%, but exactly 10%, which would have cost the city, or would have cost us to forgo about $55,000 in income tax revenue. Unfortunately, we were doing a special census at the time, and that special census, which began to impact our income tax proceeds beginning in January of 2018, actually generated about $95,000 in additional per capita revenue. So we were actually able to finish the year about $40,000 better than we were in fiscal year 17, so 1.6 in fiscal year 17, and we finished at 1.64 for fiscal year 18. Finally, just to make another comment about use tax. Use tax has been one of our more robust, if you will, revenue streams over the last several years. It increased 14% over fiscal year 2017 amounts. And now with the Supreme Court decision of Wayfair versus South Dakota, internet sales can be taxed, we're hoping that, at least in the short run, we'll continue to have these pretty significant gains in the general fund. On the expenditure side, we have listed all the departments for the general fund, as well as the other operating departments, the library, parking, rec, sewer, and water. Again, the department has done a nice job controlling and mitigating costs wherever they can. It's all operational funds did come in under budget. The only fund that was slightly over budget was admin services, about $27,000. And the reason that that fund was over was due to the 2% admin fee that the Illinois Department of Revenue began administering in July of 2017, which is part of the state budget. That cost us about $52,000. And 2% was applied to non-home rule sales, auto rental, and business district tax, along with another half percentage point that they applied to telecom tax. Here's just a snapshot of general fund performance. As you can see, actual revenues exceeded budgeted revenues by about $280,000. Expenditures for the general fund as a whole came in about $375,000 under budget. Transfers were about $250,000 less, as building permits were very strong in the current fiscal year, which mitigated a lot of chargebacks and transfers to capital funds. So all in all, we did almost, actually over $900,000 better than we initially projected. The original budget was projected at a deficit, $625,000, and we did $282, which is good. This is our annual quick comparison of engineering costs, looking at having engineering in-house, as we did in fiscal year 10 with 5 full-time employees, versus outsourcing it, as we've done ever since then. $535,000 was the cost to do it in-house in fiscal year 2010, and in fiscal year 18, the total cost was $448,000, and you can see the breakdown of routine engineering versus subdivision inspections, which was about $87,000 less than it was in fiscal year 2010. And additionally, there was $176,000 in work that was reimbursed by the developer, and then we had about net $430,000 in engineering related to various capital projects. Other items of note found within the CAFR, if you look at pages starting number 7, you'll see the various categories of fund balance, spendable, restricted, committed, assigned, and unassigned. Just of note there, you can see that we still have amounts restricted for IMRF. It's down about $250,000 this year, $726,000. And what this represents is we've levied more in the past than spent on IMRF, which doesn't really mean anything from a budgetary standpoint, but pursuant to ASB 54, we have to report those amounts as restricted in the general fund. Moving on to pensions, beginning on page 54. As you're aware, the city sponsors 2 pensions, IMRF, the Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund, and the Police Pension Fund. Just to comment briefly on pensions, the net pension liability for IMRF was significantly decreased. It was at $1.2 million last year, and now it's at $66,000 this year. The reason for that is IMRF had really a fantastic year on the investment side. We've been almost 16% net of cost. And our share of the net investment income is about $1.8 million. So that's the primary driver as to why there's such a significant decrease in net pension liability. Our police pension liability, net pension liability too, did decrease. It was at $11.5 million at the end of fiscal year 2017. It was at $10.9 million, so we're $600,000 too good. And also, if you look at the bottom of the page where it shows the net pension liability, you can see that the percent funded for the police pension fund has increased from 41% a year ago to 46% at the end of fiscal year 18. So obviously, we still have a ways to go, but the fund is progressing in a positive manner. If you're interested in long-term debt, we have summaries of all the cities' debt, beginning on page 39. If you're really interested in long-term debt, you can go to the debt service schedules or the amortization schedules as they're called, which shows you a breakdown of all the debt on a year-by-year basis. And additionally, there are narratives regarding several governmental and enterprise developer commitments that we have continuing on page 51. Moving to the final portion of the CAFR document, we're on the statistical section, which starts on page 129. And again, this is interesting. It covers a wide variety of topics. Excuse me, about the city's finances, revenue, debt capacity, demographic, and other operating information. Looking at full-time employee counts, you can see we're pretty much in line with where we were in 2005. In 2005, we had 73. At the end of fiscal year 18, we had 79, which is 17 down from our high point in 2008 of 96 full-time employees. Starting on pages 158, you get a lot of our operation metrics, traffic violations, permits, street inventory, new housing starts per year. So all, interesting things. Turning now to the management letter, which is a much slimmer document that you received in comparison to the CAFR. As Don touched upon, the downtown TIF budget was over by $800,000 due to the bank loan that we entered into to purchase the old downtown bank building. But again, this is an offsetting transaction, so you have $800,000 coming in the loan proceeds. You have $800,000 coming out on the expenditure side, so there's really no effect on any fund balance. Also, as Don mentioned, the GASB statement number 74, which has to deal with OPEBs or other post-employment benefits. I don't think it's going to have much of a material impact on the city. Some governments actually fund a portion or all of their retiree health care insurance. That's not the situation here in Yorkville. It's 100% on the retiree. We used to do this actuarial evaluation, but we stopped doing it. The auditors wrote it off as immaterial. But pursuant to 74 and 75, we will do it again to see if it's material. We'll keep you posted on that. That'll be coming up at the end of this current fiscal year 2019. Again, funds with deficit equity. We have countryside and downtown TIFs. We're hoping that over time, these TIF districts should yield sufficient increment to start to chip away at these negative fund balance positions. Actually, the countryside TIF already has. It's yielded $30,000 to $50,000 surplus over the last 2 years. So it's starting to chip away at that fund balance. It's currently at negative $459,000. The downtown TIF has over $600,000 negative equity position right now. We're hopeful that over time, the TIF will start generating significant increment to start working that down. Sunflower SSA has a negative fund balance of approximately $22,000, and that's due to one-time expenditures for naturalization of basins that will be occurred in fiscal year 2016. And that'll be worked back through the property tax process over the next 6 or 7 years. We'll talk more about that next month as we prepare the levy for that SSA. And then finally, land cash. As I mentioned, land cash finished the year with negative $278,000, which due to the destruction of both Riverfront and Bristol Parks. These funds will be reimbursed by Oslo Grant, approximately $800,000, which will return this fund to probably several $100,000 positive fund balance position by the end of fiscal year 2019. So as we look forward, the tax levy is our next thing on the docket. We actually started that process last week with Ed tonight. We approved the estimate for the public hearing, which is scheduled for November 13th. And then there's discussion on the 27th, along with potential vote for either 27th of November or December 11th. After that, we'll start the fiscal year 2020 budget process, starting with November 10th goal setting session. November, December, and from most of January, preparing the budget, finalizing it. I have 2 presentations for the meetings in February. That's a public hearing on the 12th of March, and then discussion and potential vote for that final meeting in March, and then the 2 meetings in April at evening. That concludes the other presentations. Any questions? Any answers?
Thank you, be here all night. All right, so this is an Oswego presentation, so if it's no good, we can have a couple slides in here, but for the most part, it's exactly what they slide. So it goes over a little bit about the project, some latest issues, and then the next step we think is to result in a lobbying contract to try to get money out of the state in the upcoming legislative session. So just an overview here of our Metro service map. The BNS outlines in green here, it goes all the way up to Aurora. And so we're talking about drawing that line all the way down west through Montgomery, Oswego, Yorkville, Plano, Sandwich, 19 plus miles, depending on where this thing ends up. So here's a zoomed in. It'll likely include a third rail extension. That'll be part of the design process that's undergoing. And again, talking about stations in these general locations all the way up to Sandwich. So just an overview of the benefits. So we've talked about Kendall County's growth. Pre-recession, we were one of the fastest growing counties in the nation. We're getting back up there in rank. Kendall County is the fastest growing county in the state right now. So we have a large underserved population for mass transit in Kendall County. So additionally, we've talked about it in our comp plan. It's a huge economic boost to the region, both from residential growth, but also for business growth too. More houses come to more rooftops. And it really would unlock us as kind of the last option in the region that is not connected via mass transit. And then, we talked about it just a little bit, but when you look at the economic or the environmental benefits of it, it is the easiest and safest and least impactful way to move people across the entire region. So here's what we did. This is Yorkville Oswego data that we pulled here. So we were thinking about is there a demand out in Kendall County and the community specifically concurrent with what you see at other deadline points across the region? So we pulled the ridership data, or the commuter data from different databases. And it shows that Oswego, there's already 1,700 people that are going to downtown Chicago for work. So the frequency of that, I'm off the top of my head, I don't know, but it is a regular commute to work. So in Yorkville, you've got 700 people that are already doing it. And in line with our general population, those percentages are in line with other areas that already have mass transit service. So maybe some people are using the Aurora station, maybe some people are just getting in their car and driving downtown. But there is a population out there that needs to get to Chicago relative to other areas of the region.
Wait, before you leave that slide, so all this data here came from the census? Does that census ask where you work, or how did you get this number of workers that go to Chicago?
It was, if I remember correctly, it was an offshoot survey that they did. I don't think that it was actually like the decennial census, but there was some commissioned survey relative to how people get to and from work within the region. And so, we've got all this data from the other towns that they're on the line and already going there. So we pulled out the data for Yorkville, Oswego, Plano.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that Harvard only has 254 workers in Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
So a little bit of history in the 2000s. We've done some studies. Kendall County did the first one in the early 2000s. Yorkville contributed financially to that study, so we have a copy of it. When it was completed, it said at the time that Metro service out to this area was feasible. Interesting note, they had assumed a growth projection was somewhere less than 10% over like the next 30 years, and said it's feasible now, and it's only going to get worse over the next 30 years. We beat those projections even post-recession. So we have more population here even after crash than CMAP and Metro expected in studies. So the population is definitely there. So after the phase one was completed, they did a phase two and basically determined for cost reasons that Montgomery and Oswego were going to be the two stations for commuter service. So Oswego, off and running after that point, they're end of the line. They acquired a station site on Orchard Road, which they still own. And sometime during the Safety Lou federal transportation bill discussions, we get a earmark for $7.5 million to study metro service out in this area. So then after that, a couple of the highlights of the 2002 study, there was some data in there about ridership. 5 trains each way each day, which is a little bit less than I think what Auburn sees now, but it's kind of in that same line. Probably a couple express trains, a couple milk trains. And then you've got 4 train sets needed potentially to serve that entire population. The project is going to cost a little bit less than $100 million, which is a little bit lower than the first phase 1 study. But that you're going to have, 2,200 riders each day from the area, and then it talks about what the region needs to do in order to start this process after that. So the recession hits, but we know that it's still an issue. So then in 2010, CMAP is doing their Go to 2040 plan. They put this extension project as a project for the region. So CMAP uses terms that I don't fully understand in constrained and unconstrained projects. So we're an unconstrained project, so a lower priority than a constrained project. So we're included within that list, which is, generally that they're not going to go out and push for it and try to find ways to do it. It's not eligible for some federal and state grants within it. So after we're included in the report, though, is something that needs to be looked at in general. Metro finally moves on the earmarks for the design and engineering contracts down there. So they approved these initial contracts of just under $2 million. They start them. They realize halfway through the environmental assessment that the Orchard Road station is smack dab in the middle of the Yorkville-Oswego border in a residential area, and there are no good surrounding land uses that are compatible with a giant industrial freight road. So they pushed a rail yard and a commuter station out to Yorkville. They had to add us in the change order. And so they did that really without us having to request it or lobby for it at the time. So they approved this change order, add us in, start the study, and then the board sweeps in at Metro and realizes that maybe they don't want to do the studies when they have so many other funding issues going on. So we made a push after that. We got local and state support to try to get the projects and the studies back moving. Meanwhile, Oswego acquires another 15 acres north of the track. They're still spending money and making it happen. And then both of us in 2016 and 2017 do a comprehensive plan update. Metro is a major component of both our comprehensive plans and is really a need for the area and is an economic development for us. So a little bit about the studies that are currently in front of the Metro board. The RFP is out. It should be complete by the end of 2019. So they're looking to rebid the project since it's been so long since they originally awarded it in 2012. We're hoping that it'll be an 18 to 24 month process when they actually award it. To when it gets done and says, generally, we're going to have this many trains, this could be the potential schedule, here's how many riders we expect, here's how much it's going to cost, here's what it's going to kind of look like, and where the line actually would end. That'll be a function of the study. So the goal within the CMAP 2050 plan, which just got approved 2 weeks ago actually, was to get us moved from the unconstrained project list to the constrained project list, so from low priority to higher priority. And what we heard from CMAP is that because these studies weren't done by Metro, they would not move us into the constrained projects list. So that is something when they do a 2060 plan, hopefully if we're a little bit farther along, we'll be a higher priority, and then we'll have some major backing within the region to get the project completed. So just a note about the 2050 plan, Oswego tells the story. They did a social media campaign when CMAP was asking for comments on the Chicagoland region transportation plan. They got 1,000 comments generally, total from the entire region. 700 of them came from Oswego, Yorkville residents, mostly Oswego asking for metro service Oswego, Yorkville. So they were blown away by the number of comments, the intensity of the comments. So we got added in there and said that there's great folks supporting the project. Okay, so let's talk about funding. Operating dollars are going to kind of push aside for now. You're going to collect the ticket fare, the feasibility studies in the past, and hopefully the ones we're doing now is going to say, generally, the tickets and whatever region-wide subsidy there is for that trains that are going to support the operation of the project long term. So capital, you got to build the lines, you got to make the trains, you have to buy into the RTA in one way or another. And so that's a major investment. So we've been using a ballpark figure to get the project out to Yorkville or Salmon to 150 to 300 million total. Those are ballpark figures coming from our best internal estimates from past studies plus inflation. Also talking to lobbying firms, engineering firms, and Metro themselves, actually. They said that the $150 to $300 million is possible. And that all depends on where it is. So, how do you come up with $300 million to do it? So let's use the high end. So this project is actually right in line for a federal New Start program. So this federal transportation program is commonly used to fund commuter rail service extensions to new areas. So we've been told by engineering firms and lobbying firms and Metro themselves that they've seen projects regularly in the $100+ million range get funded, generally on a maximum basis of 30% local, 70% federal. When we talked to Metro recently, they said that they've never seen a project that had less than 50% local funding. So we kind of recalibrated our own internal estimates for state local funding. So we're thinking 50% is what we're doing. A lot of this, though, is driven at the federal level. So depending on the administration in charge, they've actually pushed more local funding for some of these projects. So that number could actually be shrinking depending on what happens in the national elections for the next few years. So for the local share, we've talked about the state capital bill, and we've talked about bonding local sales taxes. So on the state capital bill, the last one we did was 2009, middle of the recession. Before that, I think it was early 2000s. So state capital bills only come along once every 10 years or so. Both governor candidates have talked about the capital bills being a major component of whatever they're going to do next year with the budget. And so because it's so infrequent, we kind of figured that this may be our only opportunity for the next 10 years to get state capital funding for a metro extension. So in order to do that, we need local support. So we need our legislators on board. We need all four of the major legislative leaders at the state level to look at our project and go, yeah, this needs to happen up here. There's too much population that's being unserved. We're going to figure out a way to make this happen. So we do that by securing support from the local legislators and then pitching it upwards. We're trying to do a little bit of a grassroots campaign. But really, state capital bill is done behind closed doors. It's done in caucuses. It's done in either the House or the Senate, depending on who's driving what agendas. And so you need a lobbyist or representative that's down there that says, hey, I'm working for so-and-so. This project is important. It has to happen. Here's the data. Here's why it shouldn't be taken out of particular legislative proposals. So we've seen that with our Council of Governments, how fast things can move, and not always in the public. And so you need somebody down there that can keep their ear to the ground, that can get involved in discussions as they happen. We've done some preliminary talks with lobbying firms, just based on recommendations. And all the cost proposals we've gotten back have been between $5,000 to $10,000 a month. If we're interested in pursuing that, we can get a little bit into the terms, but generally they're like lawyer contracts. They're pretty flexible as far as terminations go, and so that's good news. We have heard from Oswego. They've already had a public discussion on this proposal. Generally, they're in favor of hiring a lobbyist to be determined who that is and what the actual terms are. We have pitched the idea at the staff level to Kenton County and Montgomery, but not heard anything back yet. I think it's probably a little bit of a long shot. We'll see what happens there with their boards. And then potentially we would extend the offer at some point or another to Plano and Sandwich if they wanted to join us too. So we'll see if that comes. So the other funding component is joining the RTA. And this is important because Kenton County is not part of the RTA. And so just as a reminder, RTA oversees Metro PACE and CTA. So the CTA you can remove from this conversation. PACE is somewhat of a discussion point, but not huge. In normal counties, so not Cook County, the RTA sales tax is 0.75%. That's broken down. Half a percentage point goes to the county or to the RTA to fund services, And a quarter percentage point normally goes to the county for transportation needs, not related to mass transit necessarily. Kendall County is unique in that it already has 1 percentage point authorized by referendum, half a percentage point for public safety, half a percentage point for transportation. And so they already have an existing revenue stream for those uses. Would they like an additional quarter percentage point? I don't know. I know that some of the political discussions on some of the statewide proposals have not gone that way. But that money traditionally, if you're in the RTA, would go to the county. So that's a discussion point there. There's 2 ways to get into the RTA. One, you would actually annex through another municipality, so it's called an extraterritorial agreement. We would say, hey Aurora, we're going to join, we're going to figure out a way to pay for it, and then they would negotiate with Metro in order to extend service past Aurora and have it be Aurora as a local agency, or another municipality. And then the second is just full-on annexation. It requires the county board to support it to go on the referendum, requires the RTA to consent, and then you would actually vote countywide to do it in the RTA. So whether or not that would fly, either as a full county or partial, I guess you can do partial annexations too, would be a discussion point along the project feasibility. So next steps, I just want to emphasize this is long and complex. I think some of the social media comments are that this will never occur, or hey, this isn't going to happen. It's a 10 to 15 year process if everything goes right. And so the other counties that went through this service extensions, they've had to move mountains along the way. So really the only way though that we see the project happening is with the state capital bill. And so that's what we're talking about, going out and getting a lobbyist to advocate for Yorkville and Oswego residents. But even that isn't guaranteed. You get a lobbyist doesn't mean you're going to get a piece of any state funding. But we see, because of the election, because of the state capital bill, a lack of 10 years. This is probably the best time in the next few years, at least, to have a conversation. So that's it. If everybody's okay or if anybody has questions about the individual components that are taken, but the next step really is a discussion about doing the lobbyist contract potentially in North Carolina City Council.
Can't see who's I just have one question, Mark. With this lobbyist, so we would start that like sooner, and then so if it's 15, 20 years away, we'd be paying that whole time period?
Not necessarily. The contracts that I've seen for about are generally month to month or even day to day. We can do that 1 day out. So it's like a lawyer. It's like whatever work has been completed, you basically button up and then we terminate the extension. So there would be a long-term commitment unless contractually the lobbyist asks for it. But generally those are shorter-term contracts. So you could say, I'm going to approve one, we're going to lobby for 3 months, and if the state capital bill ends up going nowhere, you can terminate it at that point.
Right.
Or you can say, once we're in the bill and we're reasonably sure that it's approved, then you can terminate it at that point.
But you have to start now, because the capital bill will be coming up in the next general assembly.
Yeah, we're talking about meetings with 8 legislators, so there's only 4 in Yorkville, but there's 8 in Oswego. Okay, so you got to meet with each one of them and say, here's our population, here's why we think this is feasible, here's all the variables and the discussions that we're going to have over the next 10 years to do this. And then you have to meet with the leaders, you got to meet with the RTA, they have to be on board, the Metro has to be on board. So there's 3 or 4 months on a good time frame of just legwork that has to get done before, the state capital can be proposed and we're ready.
Right now, this project is not fiscal constraints for the coaching.
It's a lower priority.
It's a lower priority. But CMAC will make amendments to that plan if we make some changes. I mean, it's been done in the past, but they've made changes. We have potential to get this moved up on the list with progress.
Yeah, I believe the comment has been made that if we finish the studies, it shows that it's feasible. At that point, when the phase 1 engineering is done, that they would reconsider at that point.
So within probably 2 to 3 years from this point, we could have that potentially amended and moved up on the list.
Yep.
Aren't 2 of our county board members on CMAP? I thought it was Schreiber, Prescott.
I believe one is the alternate for the other, I think,
There's also Mount Raleigh, there's one.
Yeah, he's got a board seat that I think represents King and Kendall counties. Correct. Together.
Anyone else?
Well, I mean, I think it's needed.
Yeah.
We're a collar county at this point. A lot of people are, and when you look at it, that chart was interesting with the percentages. I'm sure, and it said it's from 2005. I'm not sure, sorry, 2015.
15.
I'm sure in the last 3 years it's even gone up. And we're at 9% of our workers are going into the city every day. And that's higher than half the cities on that list. So,
Yeah, that's horrible. I mean, it's horrible going to the city.
it is. I gotta go maybe twice a year, and I literally, I have no interest in doing that. But
I do it a couple of times a week, and I'm so happy.
we all see how happy Pat is. So.
And I'm happy.
I hope they choose us.
So everyone's okay going forward, looking at lobbyists?
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Good job.
I think this is gonna be our slogan. Shoot, shoot, shoot.
Ralph Wiggins.
Excellent.
Ralph Wiggins.
Excellent.
Do we have any additional business? We do have an executive session. Is there anyone in here with some comments? After executive session? No, hearing none. All right, so I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session for discussion of meetings and for litigation updates. Roll call, please.
Nobody wants to do it.
Jackie.
Nobody wants to do it.
Turles. Krasinski. Solosino.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
Coe.
Aye.
McCaffrey.
Mark?
McCaffrey.